In the shadow of World War and scientific ambition, Soviet scientists attempted something that defied nature. They severed a dog's head and kept it alive. This is not science fiction. This is not a horror story. This is a real experiment, one that shocked the world and changed the future of medical science forever. The Soviet Union in the 1930s was a time of great ambition. Joseph Stalin's regime was pouring enormous resources into science and medicine, not just to improve life, but to dominate the future. It was a race of ideologies, and Soviet researchers were determined to prove that communism could even conquer death. Amid this climate of radical experimentation, one man rose to notoriety: Dr. Sergei Brukhanenko, a pioneering Soviet scientist obsessed with the idea of artificial circulation and life extension. Dr. Brukhanenko invented a device called the autojector, a primitive heart-lung machine designed to circulate blood outside the body. It was the Soviet precursor to the modern-day life support machine. But it wasn't just used on patients. Brukhanenko had something far more controversial in mind. He wanted to use it on a severed dog's head. And so, in a quiet laboratory, away from public scrutiny, he and his team performed an unthinkable operation. The head of a living dog was surgically removed from its body. It was connected to the autojector via arteries and veins. The machine pumped blood and oxygen into the brain, and something terrifying happened. The dog's eyes blinked. Its tongue licked its nose. It responded to sounds. It was alive, fully conscious, and fully severed. The Soviet team conducted more tests. They shined lights into its eyes. They tapped its nose. They even fed it through its esophagus. The head reacted. It swallowed. It blinked again. The footage was recorded and later released in a film titled Experiments in the Revival of Organisms, shocking Western scientists and igniting global debate. The footage spread like wildfire, especially in the West. Scientists, philosophers, and religious leaders all asked the same thing. Was this a miracle of science or a monstrous violation of life? Ethics didn't matter much in Stalin's USSR. What mattered was victory, and in the Soviet mindset, proving that death could be reversed was the ultimate conquest. But questions still haunted the experiment. Was the dog in pain? Was it aware it was only a head? Could consciousness survive outside the body? No one could answer with certainty. As shocking as it was, the experiment led to something unexpected: the rise of modern cardiac surgery. Today's heart-lung machines, used in millions of life-saving surgeries, owe part of their development to Brukhanenko's early work. In 1957, Dr. Gibbon in the US performed the first open-heart surgery using a refined version of the autojector. In a strange twist, what started as a morbid Soviet experiment ended up helping humanity in ways no one could have imagined. The dog, whose name was never recorded, became a symbol of science gone too far. It died, of course, after the experiment was complete. It had served its purpose in history, though unknowingly and unwillingly. To this day, debates rage. Should we be grateful for these breakthroughs, or should we remember the suffering behind them? Science often pushes boundaries, but some lines, once crossed, can never be uncrossed. They kept a dog's head alive, not to play God, but to challenge death. It worked, and the world was never the same again. This was one of history's darkest experiments, and yet it's one we must never forget.